Today we got a quick stack, somewhat quick, to go through of comics to review for the week. This one, Anthony talked about on Crimson Color Comic Club. I gave the deets that I also checked it out and my opinion on it and stuff. But I figured since I didn't give a big review on Crimson Color podcast, I figured I'd also talk about it on here. That's Batman Dark Age from Michael Allred and Russell. Mark Russell, Michael Allred, Laura Allred, Dave Sharp worked on this. This is basically out this Superman Space Age they did first, and then they came out with this one. Beautiful Allred graphics, as usual. Very fun with it being futuristic, yet it still has that old school feel, that Batman 66 style feel to it. Same with that Superman Space Age. It just took me back to the 70s Superman. And I really like how it kind of made the characters feel and bring you back to those times when I actually did get into these characters, which I am more specific storyline now on what I follow for Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, all the DC main uh, Legion of superhero characters. But yeah, we get a whole different story on the take of Batman with his family, with his mother and father being attacked outside a theater and all that stuff. There's a different twist to it in here. I like this version better. The other version was more dirty, grungy, uh, back alley streets type storylines. This one gives it a little different twist where Bruce isn't affected as much by the attack. I mean, he's affected because he's lost his parents, but with not. I don't want to give anything away. You got to read it if you want, because I really enjoy these things that they're doing. I hope they do it with all the different characters. But yeah, we get some very interesting twist on everything. Alfred's play in the picture, Bruce's discovery of certain things about his future, what he's going to be dealing with. I get this fun little bedroom shots where we have all these little key things like a Riddler question mark on there, the Batmobile style thing here, you get the clown lamp. It's like just all kinds of little teasers for the future of the Bat character. But yeah, it's funny too because I really like this is those old, back in the day we had these little cars you could sit in. The kid would fit in there as a metal car, and you could just sit there and go cruising around the yard and pretend like you were driving. But yeah, those were well made. They're still holding up to this day if you can find any. We had one that was still around, but it got pretty rusted up, and then Dad, I think, ended up getting rid of it somehow, selling it to someone or something. But yeah, the twists and turns. Batman's a little shit in here. He's constantly getting in trouble with the law, and he's a rich kid, so he's like, yeah, I'm not worried. I get arrested, I can get out of it. Alfred will save me as usual, and all that. Along here, it's another view on the Batman Selina, Bruce and Selina storyline. Batman, Catwoman. We don't get to see her as Catwoman in here, I don't think. Yeah, not yet. With them being younger and stuff, it'll be later on. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of this. I believe it's a 6-issue run, but definitely worth it. if you like Batman or don't know much about Batman or whatever, I would get into this before you got into the old school Batman and all those storylines if you haven't touched them yet. I think this would be more fun for you. And I say definitely check out Superman Space Age one too. Because that was ended up getting the singles and then the trade. So this one I'll probably do the same thing. I should just wait for the trade because I know there was a little extra in the Superman one, and I'm gonna want whatever's extra in the Batman one. But I'll still get the all red cover issues and for now. But then we got Chopping Block number 5. Again, I like this story and everything, but it seems like an issue comes out every 6 months or something. It's like seems really long ago since I had the last issue. But so you're like, where do we leave off? What's going on? I know there was something with him and his little girlfriend and his mind and her spirit thing or whatever messing with him. But in here we get our character and his mind sitting there talking to him in his head and going on about things, kind of just making him feel bad about things he should have done for her and all this stuff. And at the same time, he got his little girlfriend that's trying to connect with him. And while she's trying to connect with him, his mother's sitting there torturing her from beyond. She has a little operation and stuff that happens. I'm not going to say what. It's the old lady definitely has some type of witchcraft, demonic control over him and whatever she wants to control, I guess. But yeah, it's interesting, simplistic esque, spooky esque style artwork. But yeah, I don't know. Is that the? I don't even think that was the end of the story yet. I think there still might be one. Yeah, there's a thing that happens at the end that basically says gives you the feeling that it's still going on. I don't know. Do I want to wait another 6 months for another issue? Not really. I think I'll just leave it alone, let it go for as long as it goes, and then maybe down the road pick up what I'm missing. Things like that when you put out something and your release times and stuff aren't are and holding up the way they should and coming out when they're supposed to. And if you're going to sit there and even make a comic and not get and do a multiple run issue and not put it out within 2 months tops each issue, I think it's stupid to waste your time doing it. I think you should just wait, get a few issues in the bank, and then present the comic. So that way you don't fall behind and you can get the stuff out. Uh, Seriously, in my opinion, if your heart's in it and you're creating a comic, create that comic. I know you may not be making enough money. You may have to be working in one or two full time jobs, part time job and a full time job, a couple part time jobs, whatever, alongside it. But if it's something you're going to do and you're going to put that first issue out, you got to be hardcore into it and put those issues out. Don't sit there and delay because if people start falling off because they're sick of waiting for issues, then you're not getting the numbers to give you the opportunity to make more issues. And you want those numbers. So you want to keep the customer happy. So instead of putting something out, one issue, getting people excited about something and then all of a sudden delaying all the issues, just delay that first issue a few extra months. And that way maybe you'll be ready to put all the issues out that you want to get out, and then you can worry about when that first run's over with, if when you're going to start your next run or whatever. And that way you get the backers, you get the followers, you get the readers, and that's what you want. Common sense. So it's like all the restaurants I ran and stuff, and all the people over the years constantly telling them, make your menu, set your prices, get it ready to go right off the bat with what you want. Don't sit there and I'm going to put this out and then we'll change things around. Once you start changing prices and changing menu items and stuff, people start leaving. They're like, they don't know what they're doing. They're sitting there changing stuff up constantly. So but yeah, I know we're not talking about food. We're talking about comics. All right. Next one I'm going to talk about is Fray from Josh Whedon. I have this run. I read it back in the day. Didn't remember the overall storyline. I knew it was vampire related. And I seen these in a cheap bin, so I'm like, screw it. I want to read it again, and I don't want to try and figure out where my set is. I'll pick up this set because I thought it was a complete set because it was all bagged together, I think. And of course, it's only the first 6 of the 8 issues, so that's a bummer. But oh well, I have the original run. I just was hoping I could get caught up on the story again, so I'm gonna have to get my hands on the last 2 issues so I can finish the story. But I sat there and it's from Josh Whedon, who created Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This one also has Vampire Slayer style character in it. Also, I don't know why they call them Vampire Slayers. They're dealing with demons and ghosts and everything else. So why not sit there and just call them a Slayer? Just Slayer of the bad, Slayer of the evil entities, whatever. The paranormal Slayer. But yeah, fun artwork, fun storyline. She's finding out that she is special, and her brother gets killed by a vampire prior to all this, and she ends up finding some interesting twists and turns along the way with all that, with her family history and everything. And that's all prior to her learning about her abilities and who she is, what she's supposed to be, or whatever. But she really doesn't know if she is what she is because she's not having. She is kind of having dreams, but not really having dreams that she's supposed to. But she's a thief, goes around collecting things for this merman style character that pays her to pick up certain antiquities, steal certain antiquities for her for his clients, and uh, there's history with that character and her. They're gonna sit there and have some interesting things happen between the two of them throughout the storyline. We got demon character that is kind of like her watcher, but not really a watcher, just basically a helper, trying to get her to figure out about her abilities, who she is, and teach her all that. This character is the main vampire that attacked her brother back in the day, and he's dealing with him constantly hunting her, and dealing with his flunkies that he's made over the years. It's just, yeah, if you like the Vampire Slayer style storylines, I personally would have loved to have seen this character go on further. I think I'd probably enjoy her more than Buffy in the long run. Who knows? They're all pretty much the same, just have their different backgrounds of their backstory of what happened with themselves, their family, all that stuff, how they got their powers, everything. But I just really like this character, and I would like to have seen it go further than it did. And the final one we're going to talk about is Gunslinger. This is number 30, and I'm liking it more. I wasn't too thrilled with the new road it was going with the art by Carlo Barbera or Barbary, and the art's decent. I just felt like my character changed a little bit too much from the Spawn run that it was on right into this when you're just jumping from one story into what's going on now after all the big events, and it just the character's demeanor and everything just felt like it changed up some, uh, quite a bit actually, in my opinion. Still, but I do like the character where he is and what he's doing. Don't know how long I'm gonna stay on this run now that things have changed, and we kind of never found out what happened with the kid that was hanging with them, and what really happened after. I guess I'm not gonna say who took the throne, but after a person took the throne in hell and took over. But yeah, we're not seeing no aftermath of that stuff in here. We're just seeing a whole new storyline going on. And this is going to take him back into his early history with the people that killed his wife and stuff and his family. But he kidnaps this poor lady. Doesn't really kidnap her, but gets her to give him a ride. And then along the way, she finds out that he can't read and stuff. He's taking a pee by a sign that says the town that's coming up, and he's asking how much longer till we get to that town. That's when she realizes he can't read. But there's some other things she finds out. He disappears for a while when she goes in to try and get some medical supplies to help heal him, and because she notices he's got a big gut wound and stuff, and then he goes off and gets with some other characters, and yeah. But the story's picking up enough that I might stay on it, but I'm not positive. I'll give it a couple more issues before I decide. But I do like the character. I still like him. I just don't like when things change. I got this issue with things changing when I'm on a run. If it's a ongoing run, let's keep the concept of the character and stuff all the same of what it was. Don't or start a new run. That's all they had to do. They could have just started Gunslinger #1, Volume 2. Would have worked for me. Then I went to had nothing to say about it. It's just when they take an ongoing and change things up in the middle, it's just weird to me. But that's it for that stack. I don't see any other ones for it. Don't forget, if you want to win a free comic book, go and check out the video where I have this as the highlighted on the cover of the video, and it will tell you what to do. But that way you can win a free comic book coming up on May 1st, a few days before Free Comic Book Day. Then you can get a bunch more comics, and if you go to your local comic shop, find some good ones that have the deals. A lot of them will give you like 6 free comics to pick from, and then every $5 you spend, you get another comic or something like that from the pile, or whatever. They all have their different rules and giveaways. Got the hiccups all of a sudden. Uh, Rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, and we'll get back with more of these videos soon. Like them if you can. It's really hard to click that little thumbs up while you're sitting there staring at me. You can click thumbs down if you have to. I don't care. It's tension, but I prefer thumbs up. But keep falling under the color of MS, and check out Crimson Color Comic Club for our group stuff. Got another fun creator interview coming up. We got issue 300 coming up. So check those out. We'll get back with more of this goodness sometime soon. All right.